Hey Gundam fans, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today we're finishing up the IGLOO series with the Gravity Front series of episodes. You know, this is the one from the Federation's point of view where we're seeing that like Angel of Death spirit that seems to be pretty interesting. Don't know what to think about it, even though there's just some cool action in these episodes. And for this one in particular, we're following a Earth Federation soldier named Arlene. We get a good look at a cool tank that's used and the Zeon's giant landmass vehicle that I'll dive into here shortly. You know, one thing I want to make of note that's very interesting is that this does take place in Odessa. Odessa is a major part of the 1 Year War, and at the time of filming this video, you know, there's currently a conflict going on in Ukraine, and that's where Odessa is. So, you know, heart out to all of those that are, you know, going through all that. Link in the description for places you can donate to them. I'm not trying to play off of current events. This is just a coincidence due to Odessa being a part of the 1 Year War, and this is the last episode in the series I've been doing. And if you haven't, please subscribe, and by the end of the video, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, especially for Sig Zeon. You know, it starts off with this interesting monologue. We're seeing this character, Arlene, a Federation soldier, and she's in a jail, but it's a Federation jail, and she's talking about how with the Principality of Zeon invading the Earth, the counter-offensive really started in Europe. You know, I'm digging the animation they have here. They're actually showing kind of the movement of the fronts within the European side. Awesome shots of GMs here battling, okay? If there's one thing this series does right, it really does a good job of framing and showing off mobile suits doing cool things. So here we go. We're actually seeing where Odessa is located in Ukraine, right north of the Black Sea. Now, another interesting thing too is we're hearing kind of this somber, slower music, something I'm not really a fan of, something that appeared in the first part of MS IGLOO on the Zeon side and has kind of come back in this to kind of set the tone. Not too much of a fan of the music, but this really adds to the depressing nature because things start getting even more depressing as we go. And make note, this takes place November 8th of 0079. So near the end, getting to the end of the 1 Year War. So by this time, the Federation does have mobile suits deployed to counter what Zeon came out with. But at the same time, there are some anti-mobile suit weapons in use. First up is the RTX 440 ground assault type gun tank. So this is an evolution of what we know of the RX 75 gun tank. That's part of Operation V. Also the RX 44, which was a previous version. You can kind of see it in the Origin series. It's kind of the earlier prototype of tank that the Federation uses. Now this 440 ground assault type gun tank is just a variation on the original RTX 44. The difference with this one is the RTX 440 seems to have limited degree of flexibility to its torso, unlike the previous version. And for armaments, a 220mm cannon, 4-tube BOP gun, 2-tube improved BOP gun, flamethrower, which is an awesome idea, and 56-tube rocket launcher, including an MLRS and heavy mine. So lots of good weaponry, especially if you think about it in terms of anti-MS defense. Special equipment having the smoke dischargers, emergency destruction system, which plays a pivotal role here in this show we're watching. You know, along with that RTX 440, we're actually going to look at the Dabude-class of a Zeon land battleship. We have, you know, the in-flight ships, the battleships, the cruisers, things that carry mobile suits, but just think of having something on land that can deploy, something big and gigantic. And we're going to see that in action here. And it's kind of pivotal and central to kind of the storyline of the characters in this. Ooh, we get to see some core fighter action. That's my thing. Look, all of this action is awesome. I just wish it had different music to it, you know? That's a minor complaint. I'm just big into music, so I would like prefer something that was more action-oriented or cinematic. All right, and here we go. There's that Dabude. Oh, that's a cool shot. Recognize that guy from the previous episode that had to do with that tank division. So I guess he's kind of stuck with the European front, ground unit, non-mobile suit stuff. Oh, and here are the tanks rolling out. Okay, I like this score. I like this music. We hear it a lot in MS IGLOO. All right, and so we meet Arlene. What's interesting about this is she had a boyfriend that was also in the Federation, but he defected to Zeon, and so she kind of got in trouble for that, and that's why we saw her imprisoned. So, you know, that's pretty interesting. I guess the idea that she could have provided him information or could have co-conspired with him, yeah, it's very interesting. But like some of the characters we've met in MS IGLOO, or even not just that, but from other side stories during the 1 Year War, maybe this is the Federation being desperate, but they tend to grab criminals, people that are imprisoned, and put them out on the battlefield, have them in charge of weaponry that might not be the best for the war, but it's anything to get butts in seats for fighting. Okay, he's just making fun of the tank, and a GM just fell on a Jeep. Gotta admit, the scale of these tanks, they're huge. You don't really realize it until the way MS IGLOO sets it up. Again, the series does a good job with the framing, the cinematic approach of being able to help the viewer determine the scale of anything. A lot of times, if they're showing mobile suits, you are looking up. If there's a human in frame, the camera or the way they're shooting it is you're kind of at eye level. Evolutionary branches are sometimes dead ends. That's very interesting. It's kind of been the theme with MS IGLOO in general, all these weapons being deployed, but they're at end of life due to the mobile suit being the next stage of evolution. Oh. Okay, so that's weird. See, isn't this weird? The spirit lady talking to her saying the most fitting pilot for this machine. Yeah, it's crazy. She could have had a bad dream, but then that'd be kind of a coincidence how many Federation soldiers are having a dream about this lady of death. You know, I'm surprised they managed to get all the intel on the enemy's disposition. Now, that's going to mean something here in the future, bringing up that they happen to have intel. And then this guy saying, yeah, do the Zeons have a traitor in their ranks too? Interesting. We'll move on. Check out that land battleship. Love it. Awesome shot here. It's just coming to me like, think of Command & Conquer Generals if you guys have played that, but you could totally use these units here for that. They need to have a proper Gundam RTS. I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. Pretty cool to see how Zeon set a trap, GM's falling into that ditch, and them already having charges lined up to blow them up. So they knew when it came to anti-MS warfare. And then here we see the gun tanks moving in. Pretty cool how it does that little transformation to be low to the ground, maybe to get more speed. That was cool. I mean, they are anti-MS tanks, and it's really cool to see how viable they are against a mobile suit. But again, at the end of the day, the mobile suit really works well in space. So even though these tanks on land can take out these Zaku 2s easily, that's really their only use. Ooh, look at that goof. Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like these RTX 440s are outperforming the GMs. Oh, that's cool. Launched a fighter. See, and then she's getting these flashbacks for aiding and abetting the leaking of military secrets and data, because her boyfriend happened to be a spy that was with the Federation, and then went back to Zeon with the technology. And so now she's going full force toward the Dabude to take it out. Sort of like revenge, which seems to be another theme with MS IGLOO and that Lady of Death, where it's like almost a manifestation of the revenge. Yeah, so that one guy initiated the self-destruct system on his 440, grabbed a Zaku 1 just to hold on to him until he exploded. Pretty crazy. All right, so he's crashing right into it. So she's told not to finish off the Dabude, but she goes for it anyway, because really that is her main goal. It's that revenge based on, you know, her boyfriend being a traitor, and then her allies dying along with her against it. And she's just about to finish it off. And he's saying that she'll be punished for it. So really, you can maybe feel that in her mind, she's thinking, okay, well, I have no other choice. I'm just going to, yeah, I mean, the self-destruct system kind of calls that out, but she might just decide to take her own life to take it out. Here we go again. Here's the ghost lady telling her what to do. So is this really a manifestation of that vengeful side that humans have? I mean, there's just so much action in this episode. Even with the crazy Lady of Death spirit stuff going on, this is worth watching just to see how awesome the ground battles are. Because you've got mobile suits, you've got tanks, you've got those giant land battleships. It's pretty awesome. So as she's approaching it, she recognizes the voice. And the Zeon soldier in there saying, "Don't engage, stay back." And she's all like, "Oh, no, it's you. I recognize that voice." And that was the boyfriend. And there she goes. She engages self-destruct, destroying it. And here's where it gets weird. The lady spirit shows up again to say, "Really, your boyfriend was a double agent. He went to the other side to seem like he was a spy to get in with Zeon, but really, he was actually still working for the Federation to leak info back to the Federation." I mean, that's pretty depressing. "Let me bring the two of you together in exchange for your soul." So this is just, again, it's getting far out there, even beyond new type stuff. And the end. So that was it. That is MS IGLOO. If you've watched every episode I've put out, I have covered every episode of MS IGLOO. And while it's very awesome, it just gets a little weird at the end where there's this focus, this theme about the Angel of Death or the Lady of Death, the Spirit Lady, Death Lady, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's not anything I'm too interested in. Whenever I want to get into any fantastical elements of Mobile Suit Gundam, I prefer it to just be scoped down to what we're learning about new types, unless that is a manifestation of it in some way. So I might have to do a follow-up, a deep dive into what this meant, if there's any information on that at all out there. If not, I mean, it'll just be another mystery. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you did enjoy it. And with this series out of the way, next up is 08th MS team. So talk to you guys later.